Hi everyone, Teresa Aker here from Life After 50 with Teresa Aker. I've been bringing you a few things about just small clips about being over 50, some things that I encountered and things I overcame and lessons I learned and all kinds of things. So I want to bring you some more ideas. So back when I've talked about being a nester, talked about nutrition, and we're going to continue on about nutrition for sure, some technology things. I just put a new background up, so I learned how to do that. Proud of myself for that. But I want to go back in time to a time when, and you all know, I've lost my husband. It's coming up 5 years now. So life has been quite different for the last 5 years. So I thought I might come to you if you've encountered, if this is too sad for you, I completely understand because I will be talking about the death of a loved one. So if it upsets you, I understand, please certainly not watch. But for those of you who'd like to know what I went through and things, the big changes that happened, the things I hadn't expected would happen. So here we go. I'm going to talk to you about that. So back just about 5 years ago, I did lose my husband, and it was sudden. It wasn't like it was something that, not that any death is any different, really, because it's all the same, but it certainly was unexpected. This one truly was heartache. And I'll just give you a quick background. My husband and I were extremely close. We did everything together. He was my biggest cheerleader, my confidant, my best friend, my lover, my whole life. And although we had families of our own and we brought them together, truly we were a team, the two of us. And when I think back now, I think the most devastating thing was to realize all of that was taken away in 1 second, one swoop. So that was probably the hardest realization. In fact, I can remember in the beginning when I first heard from the doctor that he did not make it. I remember feeling like the legs fell out from underneath me. I really was felt like the whole world was out there and I was floating around somewhere. And I know that sounds strange. It's hard to explain, but when you lose someone that close, someone that you're intimate with, someone who's your whole life, your whole world. And at that time, just so you know, just to add to it, we were in COVID in lockdown. So that also meant when my husband was in the hospital, it was only in there a few days before he passed away. I, in fact, was not able to go there. They would not let me in, but they also thought he was coming home. So it was a really complicated situation. So when he passed away, I had no warning. So it'd be like if someone, God forbid, didn't come home one day when you were going about your business, expecting them to. And that's exactly what happened to me. So what I encountered immediately was looking all the time for him because we had such a routine and things like that were unbelievable. As simple as I would go into the bathroom to brush my teeth and his toothbrush was there and I would start to cry, or I would look at the door and it would be 4 o'clock and I'd expect he was going to come in the door at any minute. Those things that people go through when they go through grief, it's crazy. It's a time that is just so devastating, but it's almost an unreal time. So what I wanted to say to you is after that, I did get some counseling, went through it, and it took some time, but my life definitely changed. It changed dramatically. All those years I had planned together were instantly changed. I had to learn that my life was back to just me after all of those years. And I think the cruelest part was I spent all those years finding the perfect husband only to have it taken away. So my goodness, that was cruel and hard and definitely devastating for me. It took about 2 years for me to get through the hardest grief and heart. I can remember the literal railing on my stomach, just the crying and the depression and the sadness, and it was really difficult. But as I got through that, I had some counseling. I definitely did. I had some tremendous friends that talked. One friend talked to me every single day, which I can't believe. She was amazing. So literally 365 days she talked to me. If you have a support team, it's amazing. I had some other friends that they called all the time and they were close to me and cared about me, and neighbors who loved me. And so I definitely wasn't alone, but I had family. Oh my goodness, my family. They were over the top. My son, my daughter, my goodness, my family, my in-laws, my daughter-in-law, my son-in-law, amazing family. So it's not that I didn't have support. It's just that when you go through it, you truly realize you are alone when you go through it. At the end of the day, when you go to bed, you're alone. So I don't want to go too dark, but now 5 years later, I wanted to tell you and share with you what has changed. So one thing I learned quickly is I am on my own. So because I was on my own, the income dropped because, of course, my husband wasn't with me anymore. My regular routine had to change. So instead of just doing what we normally did, I had to start switching things up and saying, okay, Teresa, you got to start thinking just for you. What would you do in the morning? So I always walked anyway. So I would walk. I had my coffee in the morning, had my breakfast. I did a lot of reading. I like to read. So I did a lot of reading. I had a job at the time. I was working full time, but I was doing part time because it was really hard on me. So switched that back to full time. Definitely. I was grateful for the company I was with. They were very gracious to me. So I was able to do that. So I was working, had some great friends, started getting out more. People were checking in on me. And it was funny because I started checking in on them because they became my tribe. So the world was different then. But then now let's go a little bit further. And now we get to happier times. And I can actually remember a day when I was actually laughing instead of crying or being at least sad. I was feeling happy. I was happy because I was spending time with my granddaughters, happy because I spent time with my children and my in-laws, my daughter-in-law, son-in-law. I was happy because the world was now getting more solid. I was getting more solid. I was finding my way through some very dark time. Now, that's not to say it wasn't difficult. It certainly was. I've spent my whole life with someone. Now, that sounds strange, but I have. I've been married a couple of times. I had children, always spent my life with someone. So for the first time in my life, I was on my own. And that was different. That was new. So I had to find me. So I was reading, learning about things, went on long walks, did some exercises more, did more exercises, watched my diet. I definitely started back to eating properly. I wasn't for a while there when I was down, but I started eating properly. I was happier in that outside felt better. Going out felt better. Taking a drive felt better. My friends were supportive. So I was lucky with that. So all of those things really changed me personally. And I don't know if you found that in life, if you've lost someone, but I assure you, big hugs from me because it's a really tough time in life. And I must say, I don't wish this on anyone. I will tell you later on down the road, I did lose my daughter. And that was about a year and a half after I lost my husband. Now I'm going to do a whole nother clip on that one because that brings a whole new element of sadness. And I definitely want to share that with you, but I'll do that on another video. But today we're going to go a little more positive now. So I found myself, have my friends, started a talk show because it actually started healing me. I started bringing people forward that had been through hard things and some very good professionals that could give some good advice. And so that's what I started doing. So all of these things mattered. And I actually started that show after 60. So this one here, Life After 50, I started just a while ago, probably about 3 months. I've been working on this and I wanted to bring it forward to you. I'm excited that I can do that. I've had some people mention to me on social media some of the topics they'd like to have. I'm going to bring you up some of those topics. If you have a topic you'd like to talk about or hear about my experiences, because these are my experiences, but actually, if you're willing to share them, I'd love to either, if you'd like to be on the show, I'd love to have you, or if you just want to share your idea, mention your name, and if you just want to be anonymous, it's totally up to you, but certainly love to hear from you, because as I talk about mourning and so forth, so many people have gone through it. So many people have lost husbands, spouses, lost children, lost parents, it's a tough go. And so I'm not a professional. I had to seek professional help. I encourage you to, if you need it, 100%. It helped me and it'll help you too. There's a lot of books out there, just so you know. Author that I've had on the show before, Heather Stang, she had some books on it. I did read a lot on grieving, and they all had a common thread. There are stages to grief, and I certainly had some of them, and a lot of them. And some of them, just so you know, came all at once. So I don't know if there's an actual order, but for me, it came all at once. I don't know how it will for you, or had for you, but I'd love to hear from you as well. I must say, losing people, I think after we hit 50, I guess it's just inevitable that we're going to have people in our lives that are going to be taken from us. And it is a tough go. But I guess if I was to say, if there was a positive thing for myself personally, I have learned about me. I've had some endeavors that have made me stronger. I had to watch my health. I had some health issues in there that were scary. So I had to deal with that. And I'm sure you've had family members or yourself that have dealt with health issues. So I thought I would bring on some counselors that can talk about grief, bring on maybe some doctors to talk about our health and what to do at certain times, even if it's just common things that they can give us some tips and ideas. I'd like to bring that forward to you. So if you'd like to put in the notes what you'd like to hear about professionals, ideas, tips, and tricks, definitely send me them because I want to hear from you. I think this could be really good as a community to help each other and get through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And boy, I know lots of people, by the way, in their 70s and 80s. They're mentors to me that are doing great. And boy, I'd love to hear from them too and what their secret is. And I follow Hollywood stars that are doing great. They're still out there knocking it out of the park. And I do have personal friends and family that are doing amazing and right into their 80s. This is really halfway there. So let's enjoy the ride. Although this was a little more serious, you know what? It's okay. We're all going to experience these things. And it's nice to share them. And I really want to hear from you too. So thank you for joining me today. Definitely send me anything that you'd like to talk about. We're going to bring that forward. I'm, again, not a professional, but these are things that have happened to me and I'm sharing with you. And I'd love to hear you share it with me. Okay. So I hope, honestly, you have a terrific day. My name is Teresa Aker. This is Life After 50 with Teresa Aker. You subscribe to my channel if you don't mind. I truly appreciate that. Have a great day. And I look forward to talking to you all very soon.